vciso.au Cyberwatch, 7th January 2026. Strategic Cybersecurity Intelligence Brief powered by vciso.au. Stay informed, stay prepared, stay secure. Ensure your cybersecurity program is both proactive and verifiable. By Yeswanth Bodeda, DW Report, NZ, None Australia, None News from Deep Web, Dark Daily Web, L'Orange Bleu. Data breach exposes fitness club financials and manager PII. L'Orange Bleu, a prominent fitness club network operating across France, Belgium and Spain, has allegedly been compromised in a significant data leak involving a third-party management platform. Data allegedly sourced from Naviz, a platform used for managing global activity, has been surfaced on a cybercrime forum. The leak reportedly impacts over 600 sports clubs within the network, exposing sensitive business metrics and personal information related to club managers and development projects. Arong data breach exposes 3.5 million customer records. Arong, Bangladesh's largest ethical fashion and lifestyle retailer owned by the NGO BRAC, has allegedly been compromised. The retailer, which supports between 70,000 to 75,000 artisans and operates roughly 30 stores along with an online platform, is the subject of a new listing on a cybercrime forum. An unidentified threat actor claims to have exfiltrated a database containing 3.5 million records and is currently offering the data for sale, including potential panel access to the records. SW Automation, targeted by Lynx ransomware attack. The Shinobi ransomware group claims to have breached multiple organizations across the United States, Spain, and France. Play ransomware claims. 3 victims. Threat actor is advertising a new Brutus brute force tool allegedly targeting Fortinet 40 services. Hacktivist group Dark Storm Team claims targeting multiple UK airport websites as part of an operation labelled Dak Opuk. Fun. Velexity unveils Volcano V25.12.18 with expanded detection, system passing, and cloud monitoring enhancements. Velexity, a leader in digital forensics and incident response solutions, has released Volcano Server and Volcano 1 V25.12.18, a significant update that expands threat detection capabilities and system analysis support for enterprise investigators and security operations teams. Integration of 300+ new Yara rules to broaden malware and suspicious artifact detection across platforms. Full Windows, prefetch parsing support, enabling deeper artifact extraction from Windows systems. Added capability to fully parse Linux cron jobs, improving visibility into scheduled persistence mechanisms. Enhanced inline syscall hooking detection to reveal stealthy user mode API interceptions by malware. Support for 5-level page tables, broadening compatibility with modern x86-64 and virtualization memory models. Inclusion of cross-account Amazon S3 bucket monitoring, facilitating security tracking in multi-account cloud environments. New automated health check alerts provide proactive notifications on the operational state of deployed Volcano sensors. Expanded auditing capabilities to record detailed system and user activity for compliance and investigation. The version enhances flexibility for SOC and DFIR teams working across both Windows and Linux environments. 2. Security researchers expose extension marketplace flaw, impacting Cursor, Windsurf, and Google anti-gravity IDEs. Security researchers have uncovered a serious vulnerability affecting 3 major AI-powered development environments: Cursor, Windsurf, and Google anti-gravity IDEs. The issue involves the way these IDEs proactively recommend software extensions to users, which could be hijacked by malicious actors. The research team found that all 3 platforms were vulnerable due to an inherited configuration file carried over from Microsoft's VS Code. All 3 IDEs had forked VS Code but cannot access Microsoft's official extension marketplace. Instead, they rely on OpenVSX, an open-source extension registry used by non-Microsoft distributions of VS Code. However, the IDE vendors forgot to update the default list of recommended extensions to match what is actually available on OpenVSX. As a result, these platforms were actively suggesting extensions that did not exist in the OpenVSX marketplace. The flaw meant that any attacker could register those unclaimed extension namespaces. To prove exploitability, the researchers registered the empty namespaces themselves and uploaded placeholder extensions. Despite being harmless placeholders, over 1,000 developers installed them anyway, simply because their IDE recommended them. The disclosure process varied. Google initially closed the issue as won't fix twice before accepting the findings, while Eclipse Foundation-backed Cursor responded rapidly. 3. Dozens of global companies hacked via cloud credentials from InfoStealer infections and more at risk. A high-profile threat actor known as Zestix, also operating under the alias Centap, has been identified conducting large-scale cybercrime operations. The actor is auctioning data stolen from corporate file-sharing portals belonging to approximately 50 major enterprises worldwide. The campaign specifically involves breaches of ShareFile, OwnCloud, and NextCloud platforms used by high-value organizations. Targeted sectors include aviation, robotics, housing, legal services, and government infrastructure, making the compromises strategically significant. The investigation into this activity was carried out exclusively by Hudson Rock for InfoStealers.com. Criminal access was obtained through credentials harvested by InfoStealer malware infections on employee devices. The affected organizations failed to enforce multi-factor authentication, MFA, allowing attackers to log in directly. Victims analyzed in the report include Pickett, Securitybite, iFlusac, Iberia Airlines, K3G Solutions, CRRCMA, Greenbills, and CyberC. 4. New N8N vulnerability, 9.9 CVSS, lets authenticated users execute system commands. A new critical security vulnerability has been disclosed in N8N, an open-source workflow automation platform. The vulnerability could allow an authenticated attacker to execute arbitrary system commands on the underlying host. It is tracked as CVE 2025-68668. The flaw is rated 9.9 on the CVSS scoring system. The issue affects N8N versions from 1.0.0 up to, but not including, 2.0.0. The vulnerability is described as a case of protection mechanism failure. Sierra Research Labs' Vladimir Tokarev and Ofekitash discovered and reported the flaw. The exploit has been codenamed N8scape. It allows an authenticated user with permission to create or modify workflows to execute arbitrary operating system commands. 5. Critical Adonis.js vulnerability allows remote attackers to write files on server. A critical path traversal vulnerability has been discovered in Adonis.js multi-part file handling. The flaw may allow remote attackers to write arbitrary files outside the intended upload directory. The vulnerability is tracked as CVE 2026-211440. It affects the npm package or Adonis.js body parser. Impact depends on how developers use the function multipartfile.move location options. When the options argument is omitted, the system uses the unsanitized client-supplied file name by default. The vulnerable implementation builds destination paths using path.join location name without validating traversal sequences. Attackers can embed sequences like y in file names to escape the upload folder. Remote code execution is feasible if attackers overwrite application code or executed configuration files. The issue affects versions 10.1.1 and earlier, and all 11.x pre-releases prior to 11.0.0 Next.6. Patches are now available in versions 10.1.2 and 11.0.0 Next.27. Ransomware victims: Mexico, mxbarhart.gob.mx. Public sector, government services, Austria, atwww.swautomation.at. Technology, automation solutions, France, L'Épée du Rouergue. Consumer services, bakery chain, C Corp Industries. Manufacturing, industrial equipment, medical asset management, healthcare, Health Bridge Chiropractic, healthcare, Italgrafica System. Manufacturing, printing, Autopichel. Transportation, logistics, Baja California government, Public Sector, SW Automation, AT, Manufacturing, Automation Technology Germany. Autohaus Pickle GmbH. Transportation, Automotive Services, Dew Doyle Fanning, Business Services, Mill Brothers, Business Services. Final note from vciso-au. Australia and New Zealand remain relatively untouched this week, but the global threat landscape continues to shift. Critical infrastructure, software supply chains, and endpoint security are under siege. Ensure your cybersecurity program is both proactive and verifiable. By Yeswanth Bodeda.